Good morning, guys. How are you? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr.
Assalamu
Ibrahim.
alaikum wa
Good
rahmatullah.
morning, Mr.
Good morning, Yusuf.
وعليكم السلام.
Okay, I would like guys to start first to finish here these examples from 5 to 10, and then we will check our homework. So please, if you still didn't send the homework for me, يلا, I'm waiting, guys, till the end of this period or after حد. لا قبل ما نعمل تشيك دي. Yes. You have time to send the homework. Okay, لأن سجلت الناس اللي بعتت بس. Yes. Bismillah. In example 5, as you see, برضه substitution method, and then we will check the homework. The next period, we have more complicated questions for substitution. It's from outside our book. In this question, we need to use substitution, or we don't need, guys, to use substitution method. Do we have to use substitution? I don't think so. So
Yeah, Mr. You can solve it directly.
Without using the substitution. 1 over x squared can be written as x to the power of negative 2, and then plus 6 squared by x dx. You can separate here your terms, and take the x power negative 2 first, dx, and the integral of 6 squared by x dx. And now the integral of x to the power of negative 2, the integral of x to the power of negative 2 is add 1 to the exponent and divide by the new exponent. The integral of 6 squared by x, the integral of 6 squared is 10. The integral of 6 squared is 10 by x, but over by plus the c. So no need here to use the substitution method. My final answer is 1 over x, negative 1 over x, x power negative 1, x exponent to negative 1 is 1 over x. And we have negative. And then now plus 1 over pi 10 pi x plus c. This is example number 5. Okay, example number 5.
Okay.
يبقى guys عادي في بعض questions no need to use substitution, يعني if you have the ability to do it without using substitution عادي, no problem. Next question, because we have multiplication and sine squared, so you have to use U substitution method. Yes, عبد الرحمن, U is now أوس.
Yes, Mr. Okay. U here is إذا أنا احترت.
Sine or cosine?
Wait. Give me 1 minute, please, Mr. I think Mr. Cosine X is U.
If cosine x is U, here is
لا
U,
ولا لا.
right? If you write here, cosine x is U. So sine, no.
لا. يبقى
Still
sine
sine.
square
Like
X
sine.
هي U.
Yes, sine x is U.
Okay.
Yes. So it's U equal sine x. Please pay attention, all of you. Yes, the derivative
ناخد
of
ساين
U.
ولا
Yes,
ساين
and
سكوير؟
now we must
Sine.
do the derivative of.
Because if it's a sine squared, mister, you have a chain rule ويطلع لك برضه sine. يطلع لك cosine.
Okay, the derivative of sine negative cosine.
The derivative of
Mr.
sine.
du over dx equal negative cosine.
The derivative of
Of
sine
sine.
is cosine, بس. Derivative of sine is cosine. The integral of sine is negative cosine. The integral
لا.
of sine is negative
يا
cosine.
مستر ازاي يا مستر وانا قاعد بغش بالكتاب.
The derivative.
ديريفيتيف مش
صح انا كنت بعمل انتجريشن يا Yes, إذا the derivative of sine equal cosine. Okay, dx equals to du over cosine x.
Cosine x.
تمام. Okay. Now
أي.
u squared خليها sine
U
square x
squared.
u squared. Multiply cosine x. Multiply du over dx. You can cancel the cosines, mister.
يعني dx all is du over cosine.
You can cancel cosine x with cosine x.
right?
Now we want to integrate u squared اللي هي u3 over 3 u
Yeah,
power
which is
3 over 3
yeah.
plus c. Now you يعني sin cube x
Sine cubed x, which is here.
over
The u is what sine is in back line. Sine cubed x over 3 or multiply 3
over 3 x yes plus c.
plus c. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Abdurrahman.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any problem here, guys? Is it clear for all?
Yes, yes.
Let's move, guys, to question about which is cosine radical x over x. Cosine radical x over x. Yes, Mahdi?
I have a
What's the
question,
value of
teacher.
u?
The question before this one,
Yes.
u is why not sine square? U.
Okay, let's try here sine squared. If we let u equals sine squared زي ما انت بتقول. حلو. What's the derivative? du over dx now, as we learned it in the first term, it's a chain rule here. Drop down the exponent, subtract 1 from the exponent, لسه times command the derivative of sine, which is cosine x. So dx, خلي بالك, dx equals what? du over 2 sine x cosine x. And then cancel out cosine with cosine, but you still have sine x in the denominator, which is u. And then again, cancel u with u, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's complete down here on sine squared is u times cosine x, and the dx is du over 2 sine x cosine x. Cross out the cosine with the cosine, and we know that, how to know the sign now? Yes, we can take the square root for both sides. So the square root of u equals sine.
X. Yes.
Okay, and then the integral of u over 2 radical u du. Yes. The integral of خلي الهاف outside, and then u over u power half. يعني u power 1 over u power half du equals 1 half the integral of 1 minus half, which is 1 half, يعني radical. Different what answer? Plus 1 gives 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. But here the problem that you take the square root for each side. You cannot take a square root for each side because they are different functions. Sin x, لو عملت جراف لساين x غير جراف of sin squared x. Okay, that's why we cannot take a square root for both sides. Different sign, a different function here. Okay, you will not be able to do that. الأفضل أنت تحط الساين هي بس الفيو, not sin square. And simple now, you square this. البروبلم ان انت تكنسل الكوساين بس. وراحت فعلا الكوساين. فنو نيد يعني ان انا يعني اخليها more complicated. Okay, answer this. Next question. Yes, Mr. Mahdi, are you ready now? I asked you to solve this question. U is what? سحب نايم. اوكي مجد. Yes, Majd, what is the value of u? We can replace which part of the question here by u. We're gonna replace.
Good, Mr. Can I answer?
No يا مجد, ما مش سامعينك. طيب. Okay, so right here, right in the chat, which part of the question we can let it by u? We can let u equals, we have cosine radical x over radical x. أي part يا مجد يكون في الكويستشن هنا بيو. Yes, خالد, complete.
بناخد روت 2 يا مستر.
ناخد root 2
يس
is
روت
root
اكس
2.
روت اكس روت اكس
root x.
والديريفيتيف تبعه 1
إبراهيم
اوفر روت
مهدي بيقول لك إنه هو موجود بس هو مش سامعك، فحيطلع من الزوم وحيرجع يدخل. تمام؟
اوكي ماشي، يلا عنده مشاكل يعني، ماشي ولا يهمك. طيب والديريفيتيف؟
ديريفيتيف 1 اوفر 2 روت اكس.
The derivative is 1 over 2 root x.
فدي اكس equals 2 روت اكس على دي يو.
x
لا ولا
كام هدي؟ 2 root x d u and substitute يلا في الكويشن.
كوساين يو على يو
cosine u over u
تايمز
times
2 روت اكس على تايمز دي يو.
2u بقى، هو الروت x
صح
بيو
صح
يبقى 2u du.
دي يو
fraction فهحط 1 cancel it out.
يو
cancel
ديو
the with the u step
وال2
by step
بيطلع
يا
برا.
شباب عشان الكل يكون فاهم.
2
cosine u
2
over
اوت دي يو. الحين
ليس خير.
انتجريشن كوساين
integrate of cosine
ماينس ساين. لا ساين الكوساين بتصير ساين صح؟
yes.
ساين يو.
Yeah, the voice is clear right now, guys, right? It's better?
يس
Okay.
تايمز
So
ساين
the integral of cosine is sine u plus the c.
سي و substitute يو باي روت اكس.
Well, it's very easy, listen, right?
يس.
حلو. Thank you يا خالد. Okay, يلا. Yes, Mahdi. Do you hear us now? Can you solve this question? طب جاسر.
Can I try?
Yes يا مهدي. Someone makes problem. ما يمشي الحال شباب. You have to يعني fix your mic, bring in your mic. تصرف معايا وتشوف الموضوع ده. Okay, مهدي وجاسر and مجد. يعني you have a chance to fix your mics. You have to participate when I ask you to solve any question. Okay. طيب ناخد حد تاني. Okay, طاهر. Yes, طاهر. What's the value of u? طبعا directly I'm going to use u substitution since we have a product and the cubic root of something. The u always here will be the function underneath the square root or the cubic root. So
Yes.
u يا طاهر is
wait. 5, Mr. 5, t to the power of 5.
yeah, which part of the question if we replace it by u
اللي هي 5t to the power of 5.
will give us the key of the solution. And if you let here u is still cubic and times power t power 4 outside. So دايما لما يكون عندك square root or cubic root or nth root, you let what inside the square or root by u. تاخد دايما inside function as u كلها.
Okay.
Yes. Then differentiate, find the derivative.
Differentiation مش integration.
هنا differentiation to find the dt.
dt.
To replace dt.
تبقى Mr. Wait a minute. 25t minus 25t to the power of 4.
du over dt equals the derivative of 3 0.
0 صح.
ماشي. Negative what as you said?
25t to the power of 4.
Right. Your goal now is to find dt alone on one side from this equation.
t alone dt equals negative 25. لا.
du
divide 25 to the power of 4.
Okay, and use these two facts. and substitute هنا في ال questions. Yes.
For the questions ثواني يا مستر، هي ال 3 minus 5t to the power of 5 دي هنعملها plugin في equation برضو؟
Gonna be
Okay.
what? The cubic root and replace it all 3 minus 5t to the power of 5 as
u
you
times
let u equal this value 3 minus 5t to the power of 5. So
Yes.
it's all here by what? By
u.
طب dt
du over negative 25t to the power of 4.
Now all the equation in terms of u except the two parts I have to eliminate these two parts اللي هو t شيل اي t موجوده في الكويستشن and replace it with u. Cancel
Replace
the
it with
t4
u.
with t4. Cancelهم. Integral
cancel
of
ايوه
root
cubic root u
du and over negative 25 طبعا انا اقدر اكتبها هنا 1 over 25 negative 1 over 25. Understood?
Yes, mister.
Okay, guys. Yes. Negative 1 over 25 constant, leave it. And now the integral of any square root, any third root.
1 over u to the
as
power of 3.
exponent 1 over 3 du لسه. And then do your steps integration add 1 to the exponent and divide by the new exponent. Add 1 2/3 and divide by the new exponent.
But 4 over 3 صح you 4 over 3.
Yes, 4 over 3 and this all over 4 over 3 plus c.
Okay, mister.
How did from where negative 25 came? How did
Negative 25, right?
yes, how did
when we let the u 3 minus 5t to the power of 5 بعدين تعمل derivative for u, the derivative of u is du over dt equals negative 25. Drop down the 5 times 5 is 25 and subtract 1 from the 5 becomes 4. Differentiation, term 1. And then find the dt alone, replace the negative 25t to the power of 4 مع dt هذه dt مكانها dt equals du over negative 25t to the power of 4.
Okay, got it.
And then find the integral of cubic root of u as u to the power of third. Add 1 to third gives 4 over 3 over 4 over 3. We have a problem here, guys, a lot of fractions. The 3 is denominator of the denominator, so becomes a numerator. And multiply 4 by 25 in the denominator, it gives 100. And the 3 becomes what? A numerator. And u, we know that u is 3 minus 5t to the power of 5, and this all to the power of 4 over 3 plus the c. Guys, طاهر خلاص تمام. Any question, guys, here in this question? فاهمينه ولا؟
Yes, Mr. Last step, I didn't understand the negative 3 over 100.
Yeah, we have negative 1 over 25 multiplied by 4 something يعني like u to the power of 4 over 3 and this all over what? خلي بالك 4 over 3. 4 over 3, yes. The 3 becomes a numerator. Okay? The 3 moved up to the numerator. خلاص, we have 3 up مع u to the power of 4 over 3. And 4 times 25 denominator by denominator is 100. And replace the u by its original value, which is 3 minus 5t to the power of 5. The original value القديمة خالص. Okay, replace the u by its original value, 3 minus 5t to the power of 5.
Mr.
Yes, Ali.
Can you repeat the step تبعت ال du على dt لأني ما فهمتهاش.
Yes, yeah. Let's solve the question again. عندنا يا شباب ال question t to the power of 4 cubic root of 3 minus 5t to the power of 5. We can let u or yes u equal finally inside the square root, the cubic root or the square root 3 minus 5t to the power of 5. Then differentiate to find the dt. فبيكون du over dt equals the derivative of 3 0. minus the derivative of this part, derivative. Drop down the exponent and subtract 1 from the exponent. So it's 25
4
t power 4. dt انا بعمل replacement. طبعا 0 يعني it's not here يعني cancel it out the 0 and leave the negative. Okay. dt replacement بس ما بين dt and negative 25t to the power of 4. To find the dt أو cross multiplication براحتك. هنا over 1 and then cross multiplication then divide again by negative 25t to the power of 4 هي أو replacement يعني أبدل النيجاتيف 25t to the power of 4 مع ال dt. Okay. That's it. This is the dt and this is the u. Yes. In the
Thank you,
question,
Mr.
in the question, t power 4 leave. I'm متأكد إنها تتكنسل. Then the cubic root and we replace 3 minus 5t to the power of 5 as u. The dt, it's du over negative 25t to the power of 4. We have to cancel out t to the power of 4 t to the power of 4. Okay, equals the integral of the cubic root of u du. So for negative 25, we have to move it through the move it out يعني through the integral sign. اطلعها برا as a constant بس طلعها 1 over 25 بالنيجاتيف 1 over 25 لأنها في الدenominator equals negative 1 over 25 and integrate here. We know that cubic root of u can be written as u power third because the inner exponent is 1, the outer exponent is 3 du. Now it's u to the power of add 1 to 1/3. في ناس بتخلص خلاص حط 1/3 ان هو خلاص لا انت لسه بقى عملت integrate. So 1 over 3 add it to 1 to 1 over 3 gives 4 over 3 and divide by your new exponent which is 4 over 3 then plus the c. Negative 1 over 25 times 1 over 4 over 3. The 3 becomes a numerator and we explain this, so it's negative 3 over 100. u to the power of 4 over 3 plus c. Final step دايما ترجع اليو تاني to its original value. To its original what value, which is u becomes again 3 minus 5t to the power of 5 and this all to the power of 4 over 3 plus the c, and this is your what question. This is your answer. Okay. We still have two examples in this lesson. Example 9 and example what? Example 10. Yes, example 9, it's not hard. So let us ask Omar Hussein. Yes, Omar. Yes.
Try to solve it.
Yes. Sorry, what?
Could I try?
Oh, Rafi?
Yes.
Okay, Rafi, let us ask Omar Hussein. نشوف.
Sir, تبدأ يا مستر؟
أيوه. Solve this question. What's u? بعدين.
Okay, u equals x minus 1.
X minus 1, right. du.
So du over dx equals 1, I think.
Yes, 1, correct.
Okay. Derivative of x, yes. So dx equals du.
By cross multiplication.
Yes.
Cross multiplication gives what? The dx. ليه بعمل كده? To replace also the dx by its value. New value is du. Yes, thank you, Omar. Yeah, Rafi, complete. The integral of.
Yes, x squared u.
Radical u, right?
Radical u times d times du.
Du,
times
right.
du. Then integral of x to the power 3.
X to the power of 3, y to the power of 3. integral yet?
Yes, we
لا
add
لا take care guys. Since you still have a multiplication between two functions inside the integrand or in the integrand, you have to search for a way to cancel out this what or to convert
I
this
think
product
we put in
to any
parentheses
others.
and squared. We put parentheses and squared.
Yes. Parentheses
Parentheses and squared, so we cancel out the power.
You have two problems. First, that in the question or in the integrand, you have two different variables, x and u. It should be in only one variable, either x or u. So we have to make one more step as here to find the x or get rid of x, and we change the x to bu. We change this x to bu. You know? Just think. Think, guys. Yeah, all of you guys think if we have a problem here that x squared will not be cancelled. In the previous questions, we always cancel t4, t4. We cancel u with u, we cancel cosine with cosine. Sometimes ما فيش في الدينومينيتور حاجة عشان تعملها cancel.
بناخد يو تاني ولا؟
No, how you تاني. حتى لو تاخد يو تانية أو تشتغل يو substitution في أي question مرتين، مرة تاخد يو، مرة تاخد z أو تاخد t أو تاخد any other variable.
طب أقدر أعمل x squared equals u اللي هي x minus 1. أعمل x squared equals x minus 1 وأطلع اليو.
Yes, Khalid, excellent. Yeah, this is the idea, guys. Excellent, Khalid. برافو عليك. يعني قصدك من الإيكويشن دي u equal x minus 1. So, x equals u plus 1.
u plus 1.
And then squared. عشان أنا عندي في الكويشن x squared. When you square both sides, all of or some of you gonna say u squared plus 1, right?
All squared.
Yes, like Swiss,
plus 1 all squared. Okay, so pay attention on this idea, guys. It's a little bit tricky. Yes. يلا يا لطفي كمل. فتحول ال x squared as u plus 1 all to the power of 2.
Times x.
Times radical u du.
Then u squared plus
u squared plus
2u
yes
plus 1 or egg.
Right. And بالمرة هكتب radical u as u power half.
Half u.
Yes.
Then u the power.
Multiply distributive property. Still, we will not integrate right now. Listen, you have to multiply the u power half, this monomial, by the trinomial u squared plus u plus 1. So I'm going to use the distributive property. Multiply by the first term, u power half by u squared. So we have to add the exponents plus the exponents.
So 2 plus half, it will be. Wait, let me see. 2 plus. It will be 5 over 2.
Yeah, 5 over 2.
Plus
5 over 2.
Plus
u power half again by u.
2u the power half.
هي u only and u power 1. And u power half add exponents. U power 1 and half.
Okay.
3 over 2. Whoa. No, not over 3 over 2. Sorry. Okay, we still multiply. Type.
Plus u the power
of half.
1.
Multiplying by 1 stay the same. Yes. And then integrate دلوقتي. بعد كده integrate.
u the power half 5 over 2 over 5 over 2.
No. Add 1 الأول to each exponent and divide by the new exponent. So 5 over 2 plus 1 gives 7 over 2.
Over 2. Then 1 plus 3 over half.
7.
Then 2u the power 5 over 2 plus u the power 3 over 2.
divided أيوة over 5 over 2. U
U to the power 3 over 2 divide by 3 over 2.
Yes, that's the
then plus C.
flip all fractions. Flip all fractions in the denominators. How to flip them يعني. And it will be 2 over 7. مش هي تحت
7 plus
7 over 2 خليها 2 over 7. 4
plus 2U to the power 2 over 5.
Yeah, plus 2 times
2 times
over
U.
5.
Yx squared.
No, you have to flip this one. So it will be in the numerator 2 over 5 times 2, 4 over 5. Yeah. U to the power of 5 over 2 plus 2 over 3. Flip also this one.
Plus C.
U to the power of 3 over 2
plus
C. And then return the U again to its original value x plus x minus 1. شيل بس دي وحط x minus 1. It's 2 over 7. Let's write it here. 2 over 7 x minus 1 to the power of 7 over 2 plus 4 over
plus
5.
X minus 1 to the power of 4 over 5 over 4 plus 2 over 3 parentheses x minus 1 to the power of 3 over 2.
Yes, and then plus this.
Plus.
Yes.
But Mr. Here and plus 2, why did we write x squared instead of U?
It's not x squared, it's multiplied by 2. That's here, not x times 2.
Mr. I didn't get how we got the U up. I don't know. I didn't understand how we got the U. With the purple on the left, on the right.
Here.
How is it 1 over 1?
What's the derivative? Derivative of x.
1.
1. Here is 1. And the derivative of 1? 0.
Isn't 0?
cancel it out. فthe derivative du over dx equals 1. أنا اللي حطيت لها تحت denominator 1 عشان أعمل cross multiplication وأقدر أطلع dx. عشان أقدر أشيلها من الكويستشن نفسه. And replace it or substitute عنها بإيه؟ du.
Mr.
Yes.
Sir, I didn't understand, Mr. هلا الx square.
Yeah, this part. ما فيش x
لا
squared.
الx square كيف صارت u plus 1 squared يعني.
x squared becomes u plus 1 all squared.
هاي هو
from the first assumption you assumed that u equals x minus 1. عمر حسام افترض ان ال x minus 1 is u. any variable كده u t z اي شيء. اوكي وطلعنا الديريفيتيف عشان نطلع دي اكس. الان
كيف صارت u plus 1؟
ايوه في عندك x squared هنا. it's a problem that you still have x and u in the same time في نفس الانتجراند part. You have to make all the integrand in terms of one variable u or x. فأكيد أنا عايز أتخلص من الx وأخليها u. To do that, so you have to solve for x in this equation اللي محطوط عليها circle in purple. u equals x minus 1. خالد that we can solve for x here. يعني write x equal u plus 1. Move the 1 there. u plus 1. This is the x. Equals u plus 1. بعدين square both sides. When you square x, it becomes x squared. When you square u plus 1, don't say u squared plus 1, but say u plus 1 all to the power of 2 عشان يطلع لي trinomial. u squared plus 2u plus 1.
Okay, خلاص مستر. I understood.
Okay. أحلى شباب عندنا. يلا. Number 10. Evaluate the integral of cosine cubed x dx. We can use here the trig identities. طيب مش عايز استخدم الايدنتيز مش فاكر اي identity I'm gonna use, so we can use u substitution alternative way. But first, let's try.
u مستر cosine x u.
لو u is cosine, we have a problem here. Because if you complete finding the derivative du over dx, the derivative of cosine is negative sine x, right? And then du, as the dx equal du over negative sine x. When you replace the dx here by du over negative sine x and replacing the cosine by u, and now it's power 3, you still have here something which is negative sine x. How to replace negative sine x? You have the same problem here. بس هنا انا تصرفت وجبت الاكس. هنا كيف هتتصرف وتجيب ساين اكس؟
طب مستر ليش اخذنا ساين اكس؟ قصدي كوساين اكس، ليه ما اخذنا بس اكس؟
Sine cubed u. The problem in the power, not on the x. The problem in the power نفسه. In the power of the cosine 3. 3 هي البروبلم مش الاكس. الاكس is linear مش هتأثر معك easy. u and x will be the same because u is linear and x is linear. So انت كده doesn't matter يعني ما غيرتش شيء. But cosine cubed x, if we let u by cosine and we complete زي ما شفتوا we have sine x or negative sine x in the denominator هتفضل معاك مشكلة. So we have to use identity first للأفس. Okay? We have to use what? Identities first. Yes. So pay attention please. I will replace, I will split, or I'm gonna rewrite cosine cubed as the product of, yes, cosine squared x and the cosine x dx. Okay, and I split here the cosine cubed as cosine squared and cosine x. Okay, حلو قوي. بعدين الكوساين سكوير replace it by the identity. We know the identity cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. The famous identity اللي هو the Pythagorean identity معروفة. x squared plus y squared equals 1 for the circle, for the unit circle.
1 minus sine squared.
Now yes, sine خلينا off الكوساين. Cosine cos squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x. يبقى I will replace يا شباب ال 1 الكوساين ديت ب 1 minus sine squared x من فوق times cosine x dx and cross and distributive property. Cosine by 1
cosine minus sine square
integral of cosine x dx وافصلهم لحالهم اخذ الانتجرال for each point. And now the integral of sine squared x cosine x dx. The first part of the question, the first term, the integral of cosine x, easy. It's a sine x, right?
Yes.
But the integral of the second part هنا برضه فيها product, فيها multiplication. يبقى we have to use now what? مفيش حل غير substitution. I have to ابدا استخدم بقى substitution method بس للجزء الساين سكويرد كوساين اكس. We will let the u as sine x اللي تحت الباور دايما. And the du over dx, the derivative of this part in purple or in blue on black is cosine x. Now the dx only equal du over cosine. We used to do this step على طول du هجيب الدي اكس. طيب negative sign this for this part. طيب the integral now of sine squared x we can rewrite it as u to the power of 2 times replacing and write cosine the same and
cosine x
du over cosine x.
cosine بتروح مع cosine.
cancel cosine with cosine. Sine x write it the same. خلصت. لسه to have to find the integral of u squared du. Sine x minus the integral of u squared is u cubed over 3 plus c. Final step will be sine x minus u cubed, which is sine cubed over 3 is the same as multiplying by third plus c, and we finished. We finished the question, not the period. فرحوش. خلص الكويستشن صح؟ طيب دلوقتي if you have any question ask.
مستر دقيقة بكتب.
اوكي بس if you have any question guys. Yes. example 10 it has an idea. يعني فيها يعني شوية فكرة. فيها الأول إن you have to use the identities. Cosine cubed x, you can write it as the product of cosine squared x and cosine x. We can write it as the product of cosine x and cosine squared x. Cosine squared x, we replace it by 1 minus sine squared x. It's identity. Cross again, distributive property. Sine x minus cosine sine squared. We replace the sine squared by what? Yes, we replace the sine squared, the sine only x by u. Find the derivative. Cosine x dx. Replaced, cancel cosine, طلع عادي integral of u squared, which is u cubed over 3 plus c. Any questions? This is the last example in our lesson, guys. خلاص, example 10. Okay. We have 1 minute only, right? Left.
اصلا بيقول لك the period finished مستر.
Period is finished. Why? We have it's 9:29. We still have 1 minute كاملة. We can solve أي question فيها.